A challenge, I should say.
It's a standard. I was tempted to... I've heard the song so many times in my life that I was just, it's one of those songs you become so familiar with that you assume that it's easy because you know it so well. And then when you attempt to learn it, you're like, okay, this is way harder than I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But then... I stayed away from, because we said Mama's and Papa's version. Mm-hmm. And I really wanted to click play on that Ella Fitzgerald version, which I'm going to have to go listen to after this.
Because we were learning
through my 20s, Ella Fitzgerald was a major listen for me, all the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing that that's probably how I became so familiar with this song. Mm-hmm. I'm probably burnt that out on one of her CDs, anthologies that I played over and over and over again in my 20s. And so I became really familiar with it.
I don't know that I've ever heard a bad version of this song. Everybody really treats it well and keeps it fairly true to form, but just a couple of different little twists on things.
Who is the original songwriter for this? Do you know?
I don't know.
I'll have to look that up.
It was written in 1931.
I mean, it almost sounds like something Gershwin would have done.
I was going to say, it sounds like a Gershwin, like a summertime type of thing, or like the Meredith Baxter Bernie, like the, Till There Was You, like that.
Right.
So it reminds me of that song a little bit.
What was that movie?
Music Man?
Music Man, yeah.
Which I haven't seen in forever and a million years.
And the Beatles covered it. Till There Was You.
Yeah, that's right. And the funny thing is that their version, is it that song that they're not really close to the original on, if I remember right. Or maybe they do stick on that one. Maybe I'm thinking of a different song.
My favorite version of Till There Was You is on The Wedding Singer. It's the lady that gives them the meatballs.
Right.
That's the best.
I don't even remember being in that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she sings it. She works the entire movie to learn it.
She's so tiny. She's this little bitty thing. Yep. Yeah, she pays him in meatballs for the lessons.
So was this Dream of a Little Dream of You, was that in a movie that I
missed?
No. I mean, I'm sure
that
it was
one was in The Dream Team. It was in a movie called The Dream Team.
So it's not like it doesn't have any movie that it was written for?
No.
So it's not like a Rodgers and Hammerstein thing?
It's hard to... I don't know. Let's go to the Googles, shall we?
We're going to have to go look here.
Chunk.
Also, it could be one of those songs that influenced a lot of later stuff too, because it seems like it has the type of movement to it that a Burt Bacharach
Twilight Time
would kind of write.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
or
it
the
has
Platters, that type of stuff.
It has the really same sentiment as Twilight Time.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a little, very sweet movement to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
It's a joyful piece.
Thanks for picking it, Joe. It's a challenge. I liked it.
No problem. I've always admired that song. The chord structure, everything about it is just cool to me, And I mean, it makes sense, theory-wise, but it sounds like it shouldn't. You know what I mean? It's got some weird.
Yeah, it's got a lot of substitutions, and there's a key change in there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But it gives it a kind of a. But it also has that movement at one part where, like the Stray Cats, you almost maybe pulled from it. When you got the Stray Cat strut, where it has the chromatic kind of walks and jumps.
Yeah. Now, would you call it a key change, or would it be more of a key shift? Because it shifts into a key, but then shifts back down into the original key. I don't know that. And it does that twice.
Musically speaking, there's no such thing as a key shift. But
there should be.
So it's.
So would it be?
To me, this is more like a traditional key change because it sets it up.
Is it 4 key changes then?
It's just for the. It
just
the
changes.
Bridge,
that changes out and changes back. The bridge.
The bridge is the key change.
Yeah, it changes out for the bridge and then changes back in, and it's pretty straightforward the way that it changes back in because it's actually borrowing, the turn from the chorus. I guess it is.
Why don't we have any songs like that?
Oh, we probably do. We probably just don't recognize it that way because it seems more natural when you write it yourself. When you're trying to diagnose with somebody.
Maybe.
When you write that, I noticed a lot that if you write things yourself, it seems a lot more natural than if you're trying to diagnose why somebody else wrote it, because you're there with the thought process of it all the way. Yeah. You're like, oh, this could go to this, and then sometimes maybe even when you're writing, you don't think consciously of, oh, I want a key change here. It's just that's what sounds appropriate, to go to.
I have heard some songwriters, they approach songwriting so formulaically. I go in with this idea and I know already what I want the bridge or the chorus or whatever to do. And I'm like, I walk in blindfolded to a song. I don't know what it's going to look like.
I try to surprise myself.
Well, I
I
think
win every time.
everything has a play. Everything plays, but I don't know. Maybe being more prepared cuts the time in half, but does it stop the creative process too? It's like, okay, this is a board, and I'm going to put another board next to it, and it's just all rigid. You know what I'm saying?
I think you have to figure out a balance of both, because I think that there's, like, you know, without like the theory and the knowledge, I think you can get hopelessly stuck as well. Like searching, like trying to hunt and peck, you know, and you might not understand that, like, well, certain notes that I want to sing, they don't fit the chords that I think should go in the song, but there's other options if you understand all the way everything's fits together.
Correct.
You know? So I think, you know, I think there's both, you know, and I used to think, I was a firm believer when I first started playing that, like, knowing too much would stifle my creativity, but then I think they're both a muscle. I think it's like a right and left side brain thing. Like, you exercise your creativity and you exercise your
like knowledge.
Well,
you know, both.
exactly. You can go to, you know, Berkeley and study a 4-year music program or whatever, walk out of there with a master's degree or what have you, and you have the technical end of it. And I think, this is my opinion, but there are a lot of people that go in that have a lot of soul and come out robots because they lose the organic.
You want talent to meet technique and not cancel it out.
Exactly.
I think they have
either
to.
side.
It needs to.
Yeah,
I think they have to strike a balance, but I don't think that, like, schooling doesn't necessarily negate creativity or, like, soul, because
But you have to work
people
it.
have come through Berkeley, like John Mayer.
Oh, yeah,
Understood.
yeah.
And
Understood.
also,
but
one person that's amazing is your girl Gillian Welch. I would have never guessed that she was, like, a studied Berkeley graduate, but she understands the thing. But I think, you know,
the thing is, there are a lot of people that just live and die by the textbook, and you can't do that.
Right.
You
That'd
know?
be like trying to just go by the letter of the law instead of the spirit of it. You have to interpret for the moment.
Exactly.
Your creative balance with your technical balance.
Yep.
I think that's it's hard for I think a lot of creatives, and we've talked about this a little bit, but a lot of creatives feel like the finished thing, the product, is the point of being creative. Whereas I've come to believe that it is the process.
Oh, yeah.
That is the point. Being in mid-process, even if you never have anything to show to the world or your partner. Like, even if there's nothing that comes of it, but just your enjoyment of the moment spent being creative, that's the point.
Certainly.
That's the point. And I think if you come out with something that touches the hearts of others that you can share, all's the better, but that's not the point. It's not the point. It's to inspire somebody else to have their own moment of creativity.
So, with that being said, and with your guys' help in the new year, I'm going to actively write songs that have an audible key change in it.
Let's go! I mean, let's go!
Let's just not do the Broadway shtick where it's like
No.
You got a key change at the end to, like, to elevate.
No, I think we should
and no 27 notes on one syllable.
No, I think what we're gonna do is coin the key switch, and we're gonna do that.
There
This
you
key
go.
shift.
The key switch.
Yeah,
We're gonna be shifting.
Shift.
The key shift.
Switch, shift, whatever we feel like works better. So this key shift, let's coin that.
We're gonna be shifty.
We're gonna look out.
Here comes the key shift.
Yeah.